Hello, my dear students again. So here we go today with another lesson. I will show you what it is about. It is about the present perfect and the past perfect. So here you can see in this chart where they're located and the forms that they have. In the case of the present perfect, it could be I have played, you haven't sung, and have they listened. And below it, we can find the past perfect. As you can see, it is I have played, you haven't sung, and have they listened as a question. And these are the things that we are going to see. It will see the form and the use of the present perfect. Also, we'll see the form and the use of the past perfect. And it is also very important that we take a look at the contrast between the present perfect and the past simple. The past simple is another tense that we saw in another video and that I recommend to check out again. Obviously, I'll give you some practice and a final picture. So there we go. What can we say about the present perfect? In terms of the form, here you can see the three different forms that it can take. In the affirmative, it would be I have walked. That means that we use the verb to have as an auxiliary and the ed ending. That's for regular verbs. So in the affirmative, we have I have walked. In the negative, we have I haven't walked. And then in the interrogative, we have the form have I walked. Be very, very careful with the third person singular because as you can see, there is some variation. Instead of have, we write has. So it could be has, hasn't, and in the interrogative, has he walked. Be very, very careful about it. And here we've got an example of an irregular verb, the verb to speak. It could be then, I have spoken in the affirmative, I haven't spoken in the negative, and the interrogative would be, have I spoken? So what can we say about the present perfect? Well, we use the present perfect simple in three contexts, basically three contexts. One, to talk about states, actions or events that started in the past and that continue in the present. That means that you have one action that was started some time ago and that continues now, continues at the moment. Like in the example, how long have you been here? That means that one person is still here in the place that we're talking about. Number two, to talk about something which happened in the past and which has an effect in the present. As you can see in the example, it says she's passed her exams, so she's going to university. In this sentence, you can see that there is an effect. She has passed her exams, and now you can see the consequence, the effect. That is that she's now going to university. And number three, we use it to talk about past experiences without saying exactly when they took place. It doesn't matter when, but instead we focus on the action itself. I've made a lot of new friends. It doesn't matter when. Let's now move to the past perfect, our second tense today. Here is the affirmative. I had walked, you had walked, he had walked, we had walked, and they had walked. As you can see here, all the forms are the same. The same goes for the negative. Here the auxiliary would be hadn't, and we add the ed ending. And then for the interrogative, this could be the form had I walked. As I was saying, the good thing about this tense is that in all the persons we use the same form. There is no person variation. So it is had plus the participle, that is the ed ending. How about an irregular verb? Here you've got the chart. I had spoken would be the affirmative. I hadn't spoken would be the negative form. And the interrogative is had I spoken. Easy, right? Okay, and here is the use. The use is very, very simple. So take a look at it. Because we use the past perfect simple to talk about actions or situations which happened before other actions or situations in the past. We use the past simple to talk about the most recent of the actions or situations. That means that normally we use the past perfect with the combination of the past simple. We use the two tenses together. And the action that happens before is in the past perfect. And the action that happens afterwards is in the past simple. Let's look at the example. It says, the train had already left by the time I got to the station. The train had already left is in the past perfect, and that is action number 1. And action number 2 is in the past simple, by the time I got to the station, and that happens later. Now, you should also know the contrast between these two tenses, the present perfect and the past simple, because there are some very clear differences that we need to know. And normally when we do activities, we are presented with these two tenses together. So we use the present perfect, as you can see, to talk about a state or action that started in the past and that continues in the present. I've worked in London since 2004. I still work in London. In contrast, we use the past simple for a state or action that finished in the past. I worked in London last summer. I don't work in London now. So that's one of the differences. Is the action finished or not? The second main difference, which is a good way to differentiate it, is that with the present perfect, we don't specify when something happened. So we use adverbs of time to show the connection between past and present. Like, have you already finished your project? It doesn't matter. And with the past simple, we specify the exact time or period of time when something happened. We specify the time by using a time expression. I finished my project last week. And here you've got some keywords that you have to learn. For the present perfect, these keywords are never, ever, already, just, yet, for, and since. And the keywords for the past simple are ago, then, when, for, today, in 2016. And these keywords are expressions that refer to one specific point in the past. As I told you, here you've got plenty of activities. I've divided them into 2 groups, and I really hope that you have the chance to take a look at them and to give them a try, because they're going to be really useful for you. And so we've got the contrast between present simple and past simple on the one hand, and on the other hand we've got the past perfect and the past simple below. Thank you very much for watching, and here you've got my picture of a day. This time, as you can see, this is a more exotic destination because it is in the Amazon rainforest on a trip that I made to Peru in 2005. Well, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you very much for watching.